In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa. SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Yes, it's a beautiful Wednesday out here in Milan, Italy. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajunwa, and I'm here on our Wednesday African update, African news and international news update. Joining me from Lagos, Nigeria to do this update for now is Ogbeni Olayinka Raji. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, viewers around the world. Welcome to our Wednesday program, Global Africa. Another enjoyable period. Yes.
Another enjoyable period, Raji. It's good to see you. You have the big man with you there. We're going to go into that news. So viewers, you're welcome. How we put it is Wednesday Global Africa Update, where we give out our stories, exclusive reporting, and bring some SSM perspective to the day's top news. So today, the 4th of June, we're here, and Raji is here with me. Raji, let's start with what's happening with you guys there in Lagos, Nigeria. First of all, we heard that the president has conferred national honor on Bill Gates. And we know Bill Gates is there in Lagos with you. Raji, have you gotten some of the money he's sharing? The man is distributing.
I'm so far down the line that I'm not even considered. I don't think I'll get $1. They are the big men who are closer to him.
What about what we're hearing? We heard that he's being conferred with a national honor from our president.
Yes. Is it in a normal situation? If the president is awarding any visitor a national honor, I think it's something that the whole nation should know about. But the way Mr. Tinubu is going about it, it is as if it's a one-man show. It's whatever he decides to do that he does. There was no inkling about a Bill Gates visit and about an award of a national honor to him. No.
So you're telling us that that award isn't much of a national thing. I mean, we know of the GC, the Order of the Niger Award. We know of the Grand Order. There are two of those national awards. So where does this come in? What's the category?
There are actually many national awards.
Okay.
Normally, when people are being awarded, given such national awards, it is something that the nation gets to know about it. But then Nigeria is not a nation yet, so Yes, it is a country award that they're giving to him. And I don't know the process of awarding a foreigner a national award without the people of the country having an inkling about it.
Okay, but let me give what we heard from why he's been given an award. He's been given an award, like the presidency said, because he's been adding to the country's primary health care system. This is what one of the things they said. And he's been helping in some developmental initiatives in Nigeria. Take note that he has some pledges he has made to Africa also. So
Yeah.
I think whoever does such a huge contribution to an economy,
I should beware of the Greek when they bring me gifts. Bill Gates doesn't have a very good reputation, even when he's helping you. Bill Gates happens to be the progenitor of the person fully in charge of genetically modified food, and it is intention that the whole world should be feeding off genetically modified GMO foods. Bill Gates happens to be the largest landowner in the world. He owns more farmlands in the US than anybody else. And he's not a farmer. Currently in the US, most farmers are being discouraged from going organic. And even in their shops, in their supermarkets, there has to be a distinction between organically produced food and GMO foods. Bill Gates is a director of Monsanto. Monsanto is the mother manufacturer of GMO seedlings. GMO seedlings are so dangerous to our normal seedlings, organic seedlings, in the fact that you cannot reproduce from the harvest whatever you get from the primary GMO seedling that you got. And they are also very, very serious, insidious, that GMO flowers can pollinate with our organic plants and then shut down the replanting process that is in our organic plants, organic seedlings, so that by the next season you will not have any seedlings to replant. You have to go and buy a new batch of GMO seedlings. It is dangerous. They are having that problem. They are having that serious problem. They are having that serious problem in India. They are having that serious problem in Zimbabwe, where the current corn, maize seedlings are all GMO seedlings. You cannot replant them. They have to go and spend money to buy new seedlings.
Okay, viewers, listen, Olayinka, what we're discussing is vital, very, very. Viewers, we're talking about Bill Gates, his presence in Nigeria, and the award he was given yesterday. And Raji is going further to tell us about one of the things he does, which we call the GMO. You know, we all know GMO stands for that genetically modified organism. So Raji is telling us that it's not beneficial to Nigerians. Raji, hold tight. Let's meet with somebody very important. We have a special guest here this morning, viewers. So hold tight with that discussion. We'll come back to it. It's vital. We say some things on that. I have my objection too. I have questions to ask you. But before we go further, viewers, this morning we are honored to have with us a political party vice chairman. There is a political party in Nigeria called ADC. ADC is African Democratic Congress, one of the parties pulling weight now in Nigeria. ADC have had very dynamic presidential candidates, and lately there are some occurrences happening. So we want to welcome the guests, special guests, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Chibogu Bandi, the National Vice Chairman of ADC. Honorable Bandi, you're welcome, sir. Can you hear me? Can you
Thank you
see
so
us?
much. I can see you loud and clear. And I've been following up the wonderful discussion with our guest, who is talking about the genetically modified crops. So it's been a very, very thing of concern, not only
Mhm.
to Africans but also to Europeans. So thank you so much for that information. I think we are all concerned and want to learn more about the impact on our agricultural system, on our health system, and on our population as a general. So that's a very, very interesting topic. Yeah.
Mm. Thank you.
Good morning,
Yes.
Mr. Bandi.
Good
I've been
morning,
wanting
sir.
to meet you for a long time.
Oh, it's my honor, sir. It's my pleasure, sir. Mm.
I chalk my name down
Okay.
as one of your major admirers.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm honored. I'm honored, sir.
Pleasure.
I'll be
My
standing.
pleasure.
I'll be standing behind. Actually, as a matter of fact, I logged in not directly through the link.
Earlier.
That is why Honorable Mark didn't see me. I joined
Okay.
with a open link, and I will be following up the interview. I never knew I have to
Okay.
use a special link, so I've been
Ah.
Okay.
I've been on and following up the program.
Y- You have to
Very,
Welcome.
very,
use the
very, very
social link.
important topic. Very, very important
Yes,
topic.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Yes. That topic is, like I said, Raji. That's like our honorable has also confirmed. Very important topic. But let's do something real quick. Honorable Bandi is here because that party, ADC, of late has been in most news headline, most media home talking ADC. So since we also know our honorable, we feel let's hear what's happening. Honorable Bandi, what's happening with ADC? Why is ADC on all headlines, all media home, ADC? Please bring our viewers to speed on what's going on. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Honorable Mark, for that compliment on the party. Of course,
Mhm.
ADC has remained, the best bride of political parties in Nigeria. Recall that in 2023 election, the obedient movement,
Mhm.
um, giving them the edge as having one of the best, one of the biggest agents across the political platform. And of course, the big performances of a Labour Party cannot be without the endorsement of ADC and also our merging our polling agents across the federation for the presidential election. Unfortunately, most obedient and most Labour Party are not, discussing this important role that ADC
Collaboration.
played, to make
Mhm.
sure that the Labour Party, did very well. But I think that single move has not only further confirmed the role of ADC in Nigeria, but also has made ADC a party that you cannot, talk on the national platform without taking into consideration their role. And so it's not a big surprise that currently, like you rightly mentioned, across the federation, the most beautiful pride of political party in Nigeria, ADC, is being on the center stage this time around, moving one step further to be the platform, the focal platform of a main opposition party. As you can see in Nigeria today, by act of whether deliberate design or otherwise, they are trying to turn Nigeria into a one-party system. And
Mhm.
everybody know across the globe that one-party system can only happen in a place like Russia and China, and we can understand what it means in terms of governance, in terms of freedom of speech and other things. Well, it might be good for them, but for Nigeria, with a very very multicultural society, multi-religious society, to have a one-party system, it's not going to go down well for Nigeria. And so, ADC is once again stepping up into that gap, stepping up the role to be the focal point of opposition in Nigeria, to make sure that Nigeria remain a multicultural society, a multicultural political setup, space where people have, the opportunity, to air their political view. But apart from that, ADC has maintained, a view, within the political world, a view that has been consistent, ADC has been a party for the women, a party for the diaspora. As a matter of fact, the only political party in Nigeria that has given the diaspora a platform, recognizing them as the seventh geopolitical zone. No other political party has done that in Nigeria, only ADC. ADC is the party for women, positions are reserved exclusively for women and also for the people, for the
We
youth
we
and
we,
people
we,
of people with disability.
we lost you
So
there.
I can't
Honorable,
hear you. I know you're trying to say something. I don't know whether you can hear me.
we can hear you, but we also lost some visuals
I
there.
can't
But
hear you, sir.
before you go on, let's bring in one of our coordinators here, Sir George Chukwu from Toronto, Canada. Sir George, you're welcome. Can you hear Gandhi? Can you hear Honorable Gandhi?
I was able to hear him clearly. Yes.
Okay, Raji,
But
did
I
you
don't
hear
think he
him?
can. I don't think he can hear us.
I can hear
I
you
can hear
now.
him.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I lost the connection in between, but I can hear you now.
Oh,
Okay.
very good. Okay. Please, Honorable Bandit, we beg that you take a few minutes backwards to what you were saying so that the gentlemen here can also ask questions if they do. And our viewers would love to know what's happening.
No,
I mean, beautiful.
it's just a
Go
few
ahead.
seconds, not a few minutes. A few
All right.
seconds.
Yes.
I mean, we just said that ADC, remain the bride of the political space in Nigeria for the fact that it's a party for the diaspora, the only party in Nigeria that has given the diaspora, the self-belonging, having the seven geopolitical zone. The only party in Nigeria that have 35%, reserved for our women, 35% for the youth, and the people with disability. So it's not a surprise that ADC has been chosen as the main opposition party, to lead the coalition, to make sure that democracy thrives in Nigeria, to make sure that the opinion and the voice of the people will count. And that's the position of ADC. And we're looking forward to have those people who have been rendered political refugees in their own country, in their own state, that ADC is a platform to give you the voice, to give you, the platform to make sure that Nigeria remains a multi-political society and not a one-party state.
Thank you.
And not a one-party state. Gentlemen, you've heard our great Honorable Bandi, the vice chair for ADC, the political party in Nigeria. I'm opening for you guys to probably put your questions if you have any. Let me start with George. George is just joining us and he needs to freshen up. George, let's hear what you have for.
Well, I saw some of the posts that was done by with ADC as the topic of it, but I think it was not a local thing. My question is, you're talking as if ADC is the only political party aside from APC. I do understand, but ADC is just coming up. So you have other political parties in Nigeria that has been there for many ages. So my question to you is it official that the coalition is choosing ADC as the party to go by? Because from what I'm reading, there are other coalitions that is also taking place. Now we see the PDP with their chaos, and we see the Labour Party with their chaos. We see other parties that are having issues. But is it official that this coalition that is coming up, is it involving PDP? That's the
Yes,
main question.
yes. The answer is the ADC is involved currently in a coalition talk, and then I can authoritatively confirm that we'll have the Labour Party, will have the PDP all engaged in the discussion, for the coalition. Since I am not the spokesperson of ADC, it will be very premature, to probably tell you that this is official or not official. But what I can confirm is that there have been a talk, and the talk has actually reached an advanced stage. And from my perspective as the national deputy chairman, African Democratic Congress, responsible for diaspora, ADC has emerged as a top runner for the coalition of political parties in Nigeria to take up on the current leadership come 2027.
So because the reason why I'm asking you this question is, Even yesterday, there was some write-ups about, the chaos in PDP and the refusal of P2B by insisting that he's going to run with Data Ahmed, his deputy during the Labour Party, and that the talks about P2B being involved is actually discarded. So they're looking for another individual, which is Amechi with El Rufai, to be the front, the flag runners for this coalition. So, the reason why I'm asking, because there are so many news running out there, so we need to authenticate from you, what really happened, and were you aware of that particular situation whereby they were having a meeting, the diaspora meeting in different areas, without you guys having knowledge of it?
Well, sorry. When you talk about diaspora, I mean, politics. It's a multipolar business, like you know. You can't stop individual from coming together, especially when we call the stakeholders. You can't stop any stakeholders, whether it's the PDP, whether it's the APC, whether it's the Labour Party, from coming together to discuss, something of interest. But as far as the ADC party is concerned, I still remain the national deputy chairman responsible for diaspora, and so anything official that is not running through this channel is just of an interest group, which is allowed under the Constitution.
No, you see, the reason why I'm asking you specifically this question is simply because we have seen how the mole entered into Labour Party, and this mole that entered into Labour Party was actually to destroy it. So even with P2B standing on the sideline, as a matter of fact, they're still having their chaos. But the question is, you are the diaspora and as the deputy chairman of this party, but were you consulted originally when the coalition were asking about using ADC as their political party? Were you consulted? And were you aware? Because let me finish. The reason why I'm asking this question is most of the time when political parties like this become viable, you see all the huge goons that will come in and they'll form their own little clique within that political party. And before you know it, you and the rest of them are ousted from the whole entire, thing.
I get that. I get the concern, and the concern is legitimate. As you can see, I've addressed one or two public, meeting. As I speak to you, I'll be heading to Nigeria anytime from now, because we are doing what we call the, coalition consultation with our partners in Delta State. I remain a stakeholder in Delta State. I remain a stakeholder in diaspora. But like I said, in politics, that is what exactly politics is all about. We have such an interest coming around and the rest of them. But like I said, if it's not official, it's not official. I am a member of the National Working Committee.
No, we lost him again.
I think we're having slight technical issue there.
So
okay.
Now, I understand Honorable Bandi's position.
Yes.
He cannot say anything categorically now because consultations are still ongoing. And it's not as if ADC has been chosen as the only vehicle, because there are so many other vehicles. There are so many permutations and probabilities and speculations ongoing. So it's still early days in the whole process. Yes.
It's still early days in the whole process. Good. Thank you very much, Raji. You helped sum that up for him. We're having issues with his network. So probably, George, you're welcome. George, Raji was schooling us through something. Okay. Raji, you might have to ask your own question too. Honorable Bandi, there's that bouncing of your network. Can you fix that?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. So probably you
can hear you now.
Stay where you are. Don't move.
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you.
Thank you, Mr. Raji. Like I said, I don't know why I can hear you people sometimes. Thanks for coming from my defense from Mr. George trying to pin me to the wall. And so thanks for coming to my defense. Like I said, that is actually, as far as I'm concerned, like I said, I'm not the spokesperson, but I'm a member of National Working Committee for my party, and I am very, very much aware. I have attended meeting with the top echelons of the political parties I've just mentioned, and I am quite optimistic. Like I said, an announcement will follow very, very soon. But again, you cannot rule out, what Sir George have said, that when you have such a political party, people coming to, to claim it. Well, if we're coming, have other parties coming along to join us, there are reasonable, expectation that they also have to be involved in, building of a better coalition. The idea is how it is done, that everybody is a win-win situation from everybody. So no, our hands are very open. We want to get in as many political parties as possible that want to join us into the coalition, and I'm sure that our leadership, led by Honorable Chief Ralph Okenwosu, and our team and our General Secretary, they are working around the clock to make sure that such what George just mentioned will not happen. So yes, I get that concern. I feel that concern. But our major concern should be, to make sure that Nigeria have a leadership that they deserve, and to make sure that the ADC are going to lead a coalition that is going to bring in the next president of Nigeria, where rule of law, where justice, where economic progress is meant for everybody and not for very few.
Yes. So
Good. Yeah, go ahead, Raji.
Thank you so much, Honorable Gandhi. Like I said before, I'm your fan. I'm your fan. So
thank you, sir.
Talking to me, you are talking to somebody who is really with you. Now, I listened to Amechi talking during his birthday, and all that he was saying was about he's being hungry, coming in to take power. I would not want the ADC to be used as a vehicle for a gang up against the current. So that word gang up is something that the APC will try to throw at any coalition. Now, I'll be very happy if ADC could be able to shield that from themselves and not make the ADC look like a gang up party just to take power.
I totally agree with you. Like I said, I get that. I mean, if most people who have been around me, especially our great host, will understand that Kenneth Gbandi believe in accountability. Kenneth Gbandi believe in due process, and Kenneth Gbandi will not be shut up. I will say my mind, and I will say things the way they are. Most important for me, like I said, that we have a coalition, that bring back the lost glory of this country, a coalition, that give, room for equality and justice. And however that comes, I'll be in the forefront to make sure that we speak for Nigerians and don't speak for the cowards which are trying to fight against.
Wow, gentlemen, I think that was brief. That was very
Yes.
straight to the point. Viewers, we've been hearing from Honorable Kenneth Gbandi. We have comments also coming in here. Some Charles Otumwa. I hope I pronounced that well, George. Charles wrote in and said, "I'm in admiration of what you stand for." That's African Democratic Congress. He says, "But I will not get myself involved in your commitment. The reason for my dissident is because I'm not a believer of democracy. However, corruption, your involving debt and organization are worse than democracy." Okay, well, viewers could say their mind. That's Charles telling us how it is, his own view. If you have more people bringing in their comments, you can bring them in. More of our viewers, they are here with you listening, Honorable Gbandi.
Yes, I can read the Charles comment on the screen just like you read it out. Charles, I totally sympathize with you. I share your sentiments. I understand that again, our form of democracy in Africa must and should be be further refined. I totally agree with you on that. Absolutely. But until now, that is what we have. That's the best, the best instrument to have for now, as we look to, to organize our own African democracy the way it should be. But the danger of it all is that we should be very careful of, political apathy. If we allow, us to be discouraged, just because we allow, some cliques and cabal to continue to hold us to ransom, then for me, it's not a strategy, because they can only, their hold on power can only be increased. To And so I share the sentiment, I share the pains of Charles. We should actually be one of the biggest nations in Africa. Instead of that, what we're having today is the killings everywhere. We're having nobody's minding was about that. And Nigeria is totally descending into chokes gradually, day by day. So I share that sentiment with Charles. But the danger of not getting involved is that those people or those cabals who have taken hold of the country can only be emboldened. And so I think it's better that we also, get together, yes, fight the fight together and make sure that we build a country that we all love. Staying away is not an option. Not doing anything is not a strategy.
Nice.
Well, I really appreciate that. But I've been in politics myself for a while. But one of the major reasons why people are not interested in getting involved, you saw what happened with Labour Party and with Peter Obi and Data Ahmed, and you saw what happened during the election in 2023, where it seemed like, regardless of the turnout, that always the decision making will come from elsewhere to tell us who won and why they won. And then the question is go to court. So because of that, quite a few number of people, what we call the new converters into politics, which are the youths, who got interested because the bad governance is affecting them directly because of lack of infrastructure and jobs. But when they came out in masses, they don't believe up until today that their voice is counted. I think they believe that the election was stolen. So as a result of that, it's difficult to bring these people back with enthusiasm. And so I do understand where you're coming from, and believe me, I empathize with that position also myself. But like what Charles was saying, Charles, you can never give up when it concerns politics. If you want a change, the change must start from you, and that starting from you is that you must be involved, whether it is trustworthy or not. When we have enough people like you and they begin to enter into government, then the conversation will change. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. You kill it.
Then,
you hammered it.
Then,
That is it. I totally agree with you.
May I also add that we should not lose hope in the process. We should not suspect the process. If you go into a process and you are not, you start losing faith in that process and believing that the outcome will be as has been written by somebody else, I do not think that you will put in your best. So regardless of whatever outcome, whatever you believe, let us have faith in the process. And if you don't lose faith in the process will be made better for all of us.
I totally agree.
I do not believe, for instance, I do not believe that election was stolen. I do not believe that because I have looked at it graphically, technically, as an IT person. I've looked at it and I've seen that there's no way that your perceived winner could have won. So no, not let us believe that the election was stolen. The election went somehow, but it was not stolen.
Anyway,
the point is this. Listen to me, and I can authoritatively tell you this, Olayinka Raji, you are wrong. With all due respect, you are totally and absolutely wrong. I know exactly what I'm talking. I know what I'm talking about. Even you as a technician, hold tight. Even you, can you allow me to finish? Can you allow me to finish? Olayinka Raji, allow me to finish. Allow me to finish. Stop over talking now. Let me say my point.
Go on.
Thank you.
Go on.
Thank you. Now, unless you understand the system and have worked with the system from the inside out, then you can say what you're saying. You
You
have
cannot
not.
believe you
I
cannot
have.
believe my knowledge.
Can I?
You cannot believe my
You're
knowledge about
interrupting
INEC
me. You're
processes. You cannot believe my knowledge.
interrupting me. You're
I've been involved
interrupting.
in politics.
Oh my
I've been
God!
involved in
Can you
elections.
allow me to
And I
finish
can tell
something?
you
Can you allow me
categorically
to
that
finish? Can you allow me to finish?
Okay,
the
You're
election
gentlemen,
gonna
was not
allow me
gentlemen,
stolen.
to
If you
finish.
go on with
go
You're
on a
that,
not
break.
making
with
any
that
point by
concept
over
that
talking
it was
Gentlemen,
somebody.
we need to
Ola
go on a
it
break.
Inkareji.
was stolen,
Ola
We need to go on
you
a
are
break.
Inkareji.
very, very wrong.
Ola
The election was
Inkareji.
not
Ola
I
Inkareji. Stop.
We need to go. Please, I'm sorry for the mute. Let's go on the break. We'll come back. But when we come back, we want to continue with some of the discussion we had earlier. Our viewers, you are tuned in to Wednesday Global Africa Update, SSM, and we're here with a special guest, Honorable Kenneth Chibo Bandi, the National Vice Chairman of ADC, African Democratic Congress in Nigeria, a political party in Nigeria. Let's come back from that break. Please, gentlemen, I beg your
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerian soul are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
This is everything you need to marry a Nigerian girl. Her father gave me a list of 39 items which include a live goat. The first place I went was the bulk food market to gather the yam, palm oil, baskets of fruit, and dried fish known as eja osun. And it's not just one yam or liter of palm oil, I am buying large quantities. It was pouring rain and I rented boots to make it through the mud, but it is worth it to marry my beautiful bride. In Nigeria, they practice dowry for marriage, paid to the family. In the Yoruba culture, each item is symbolic and not really a payment to the family, but rather proving your worth to marry her. And prove it I did by next heading to the goat market, where I spoke with a house of men to find the meatiest goat. This is the one I picked, and surprisingly, the goat at only $40 is one of the cheapest items on the list. This can't be done in one day, so after the rain cleared, I went to Mushin Main Market to find the kola nut, both bitter and regular, the alligator pepper, the adzun, which specifically said I needed to buy plenty, and bottle of raw honey, which symbolizes that our marriage will be sweet. Next, I had to gather biscuits, bulk packs of different drinks, wine, and semen schnapps, as well as a suitcase full of new clothes for my fiancé to prove I can provide for her in the marriage, and lastly, the marriage Bible, as God will always come first. It is possible to pay someone to buy these items, but for me, I wanted the experience myself. Finally, we brought all these items to the family home for the wedding day. It is not easy to marry a Yoruba girl, but my bride is strong, smart, loving, beautiful, and completely worth it.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Right. Gentlemen, if you're there, it's good to be back. George, Raji, you can unmute your phones. Welcome back. I know we all have passion for our country, to want to see things change for good. So sometimes it boils over. Okay, but let's go to some of the local news again. There's a good news coming from the security arm of Nigeria. Nigerian Air Force were able to thwart large-scale bandit attack in Zamfara. They killed over 20 terrorists. I don't know if you guys want to talk about that, but let's still hear from Bandi maybe for a few minutes. Honorable Bandi, thank you for being with us. We lost him again. Okay.
Right.
Are you there?
I can hear
okay.
you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Okay. Can you hear us? Oh dear. He can't hear. I think it's from your end, Honorable Bandi. Your network maybe. Are you Aha.
Can you hear us now?
Okay.
I don't know that you can hear me.
We can hear you.
We can
Okay,
hear
I
you.
can hear you now.
Okay.
Aha, good. All right. So in one word, Honorable Bandy, tell us, what do we expect in the coming days? This coalition and all of what is happening. What are we expecting to hear and see with ADC, African Democratic Congress?
Yes, let me share. Let me just before I go in that, I agree with you that the exchange between Olayinka and Sir George, it just highlights the passion, especially people in diaspora, the passion we want to see a working country, want to see a democratic process that is free and fair. Of course, what we also have to agree as Democrats, we are all entitled to our own opinion, and sometimes our opinion can never be wrong. That's our opinion. So we have a right to agree to disagree or disagree to agree. So that's
Yeah,
quite normal.
absolutely.
So I'm sure that our viewers will not have any issue with that. They are just
Yes.
both of them are trying to stay their own position. And what we are going to expect in the next view is that in the next days, a clarity, like my brother Rajiv have said before. I'm not the spokesperson for the coalition. I'm not the spokesperson for ADC. But what I can say for sure is that the Nigeria is going to see in the next days a news that is going to uplift them, a news that is going to, begin to address most of those issues, they've been worried about. Again, they say that he who is already on the ground fear nothing to fall. It's not fearing to fall again. Nigeria is already at the ground now. I don't think there's anything we can do, worse than this. The only way forward is up. And I think we're going to come together as a country. We're going to come together and make sure that we all design in Nigeria we would love to see, the Nigeria we want to have. And I'm happy that the African Democratic Congress ADC has taken the bull by the horn and they are willing to throw their hat to the ring to make sure that the Nigeria that we want to see is a reality in our lifetime. So I will thank you for bringing me on the program.
Nice.
I will
Yes.
thank Olayinka, Rajiv, and my very good friend Sir George, that we should not please lose hope in the country. Germans, the German have a proverb. They say that Hoffnung steps and end the other steps to Leicester, which means hope died last. If our hope is giving up now, then of course our life and our country is up.
There's no problem.
So I will keep encouraging everybody. Let's keep fighting. The last sledgehammer that splits the stone is not just that one single one, but at the continuous hammering of that stone. So let's keep up the pressure. Let's keep hoping for a good Nigeria. Let's all doing our best, and I'm sure that at the end of the day, we'll have a Nigeria that we want. Thank you so much for having me on the
Thank you.
program.
Well,
Thank
thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much. It's such
You have
an
not
honor
supported
having
me
you
at
with
all.
us.
You have actually emphasized my faith in you. Thank
you,
you.
sir. Thank you so much. All right.
Beautiful, beautiful.
All right. So, gentlemen, thank you for hosting the chairman of the vice chair for ADC and Diaspora Engagement, Honorable Chibok Bandi. So let's come to our news update. George and Raji, that news of the killing in the Zamfara terrorists, Nigeria Air Force were able to take them out. I think that's a good news. That these are the kind of news we want to hear more and more.
But
Raji?
you didn't talk about the collateral damage.
Okay.
Every time the Air Force bombs a so-called bandit enclave, there are more non-bandits killed than bandits.
Oh.
There have been times when you have actually bombed an IDP camp. They have bombed a celebration, a ceremony, a wedding ceremony. This last bombing, we understand that 22 bandits were affected, and about 6 or so vigilantes were also affected. There's always collateral damage. The way it won't be easy for an aerial bombardment of those areas because the bandits, most of them seem to live among the people. Now we have to do more, but for areas like Sambisa Forest, where they are more in Sambisa Forest than in other places, and The reason why they are probably not going to Sambisa Forest is because of the mineral resources that are being taken by other interested parties. In Zamfara, it is a very serious issue. Issue of banditry is historical in Zamfara because Zamfara is close to the Hausa areas that the Fulani were able to conquer. The Fulani were not able to overrun Zamfara as easily as they did the Hausa states, and therefore they left with them bandits who are going to trouble their lives. So those bandits are offspring of those bandits that were left behind. Now, if there's going to be any bombardment in that area, I'm sure there will be a lot of collateral damage. For all that is worth, we may congratulate the military for at least taking out 20 members of the bandits.
This situation reminds me of what Jesus said in the Bible in the book of Matthew 11. We have piped for you, you refuse to dance. We have tried to mourn with you, you refuse to cry. This is almost like damn you do, don't, that type of situation. Okay, all of a sudden, we are having an operational success, against the banditry, the Boko Haram and the rest of them. 20 terrorists were killed and over 21 motorcycles were destroyed by NAF strikers. You see, this operation was conducted because they were making a way with a whole lot of people that they have already done. So they were able to stop this massive attack that would have taken place by this, making sure that these people are no longer there. It is a welcome good news, and we should commend them and encourage them to continue, because the reason why these people have been able to succeed several times is because they come and there are no challenges whatsoever. It's only one way: they will destroy people, kill them, chase them away from their families and burn their houses. So for this to actually happen is a welcome good news. Therefore, we highly commend them and thank them to continue to do a good job, because with this type of force, these people will think twice before they come again. So I'm really quite more than 30 of their motorcycles were destroyed, and most of the arms that they carry were recovered. Isn't that a good news? I believe it is.
Thank you.
What
Raji said was also good. It's also good.
Well, from the news that we are hearing, there are two of the vigilantes were killed and two were injured. If that is correct, this is a good one, because you can never go to war and don't expect any casualties. They have guns also, and they're still shooting the aircraft, before they even destroy these people. Immediately they saw them. So I honestly believe that if the Air Force and the ground troops, the military, continue in this manner, whenever stuff like this happens and they go against these people, believe me, they would think twice before they start coming out again.
Nice. Thank you, George. Thank you, Raji. That looking at both ends, gives a balanced assessment. Thank you for that update. Gentlemen, earlier on, George, Raji and I were saying something to start the show. Nubu confers national honor on Bill Gates. Presently, Bill Gates is with Raji, and we heard he has given Raji some billions too. George, on a serious note, the man Gates is in our country, and this morning we even heard he has given some chunk of his wealth to primary health care development in Nigeria. And but Raji was telling us something. But before Raji comes again, George, what do you say? Is that award worth it? Does he really deserve a national award?
If you ask me, the award is 100% worth it.
Okay.
Partnerships were established with traditional institutions to support health initiatives by this man, by the Gates Foundation. They introduced that HPC vaccine to curb 7,000 annual cervical cancer deaths among Nigerian women. And there are so many other things, and even a single HPV, that vaccine dose for girls aged 9 to 14, will protect them for a lifetime. So tell me that's not good news. Okay, so now what we are seeing is Nigeria is led globally in effectively distributing this vaccine among young people. What we need to make sure is that the vaccine itself does not have any other thing that can cause future problems for their fertility and having children. Okay, he committed most of his wealth to help. Now, when we're talking about GMO food has been grown in China for many, many years. And most of the things that they bring out from China, agricultural products, are mostly, genetically modified. Now, if you ask me, GMO foods, there might be some danger in some of them because it's not natural. And most of the growth is accelerated with different types of chemicals. So, but with saying that Bill Gates is, a devil, simply because maybe when this GMO food came out and they started using it to produce more food so that it can sustain the populations, and then all of a sudden he's being demonized. Even during the pandemic, he was also blamed. Everything blame. The man is using his money to effectually do a lot of good work, which we haven't seen with our politicians, who steal our money and take it outside of our country to enrich other nations. And when they die, that money is gone. So we'd rather have a man like this, and that honor is well worth it. Sometimes somebody might be wanting to do something with a good heart. Maybe the result might come out wrong, which happens all the time. But for now, this particular initiative and this honor that is given to Bill Gates is highly, highly commendable from our president.
Strong words from George there.
I'll let George know that
Yeah.
none of my relatives, nobody I know, will be encouraged to take that HPV vaccine. There have been so many cases, even with polio vaccines, even with recently I heard the president of Kenya removing Kenya from WHO because some of the vaccines they sent to Kenya contain substances that affect the fertility of the women. There's no way that I can trust Bill Gates, especially when it comes to vaccines, because he was a point man in this COVID-19 vaccine, and we all found out, and I sincerely believe, that there were more simpler solutions to the COVID pandemic than forcing the whole world to take a vaccine that has not been tested, shutting down the whole economy of the world because of a virus for almost 2 years and disrupting the lives and living of billions of people. There were losses, there were serious losses, and countries were put into debt by the so-called COVID-19 loans that they took. Nigeria had just finished paying back the loan, a loan that they did not need. I can assure you that, and the debate is still on. In fact, discussions are on. Doctors are getting very, very pissed that there was more than 3 million people died globally because of a fake pandemic that caused so much disruption and so much death. Anything that Mr. Gates is involved in, which is not in IT, I will not be comfortable with it. He's not a doctor. He's not a scientist. He's nothing. I cannot believe him.
Okay.
And his control of the WHO is also anathema to World Health.
Let me come in.
And
Let me come
earlier
in.
he's speaking.
There are always.
You spoke for 20 minutes. I did not disrupt you. So, Mr. George, let me conclude. Don't come
So
in
it's
at any time.
6:55. It's
Okay.
6:55. You've already made your
Okay,
points.
don't worry. We'll have more time. Let him
How do you know
continue.
I've made
Yes,
my point?
yes, we'll have more time. Go ahead, Raji. Go ahead.
GMO food is dangerous to human health. When you take an organic product and you compare it with GMO product, you see that there's no nourishment in the GMO product. I can assure you of that. There's nothing you can add to the soil. There's nothing you can, whatever the plant gets from the soil. Fertilizers, NPK fertilizers and things only accelerate growth and give us a bumper harvest, but the nourishment is missing. GMO food is such that the seeds, the seedlings are not replantable, and therefore every year the farmer will have to buy a whole bunch of seedlings to plant. The danger in this process
But you've made
is
all
that
these points before. You were saying this before. You're repeating yourself.
the nature. If you can just keep quiet and let me land.
No,
The danger is that eventually GMO food will cancel out organic food, and then the world will be in trouble.
Okay. Some real mind-blowing revelations there. George, well, like we say here, every man to his views, and it's up to the viewers. We have many of them here. It's up to the viewers to decide on what
I said that
Mhm.
the truth stands a test of time. There is definitely a difference between, there are differences between food that is planted and allowed to grow naturally than food that is either regenerated or induced growth comes in. That there's a reason why they say okukibo. Okukibo usually is homegrown chicken that go out there and fetch food for itself. When you eat the meat, it's different from agriculture or agricultural chicken, the one that grows quicker and faster. The point is this. There is no question whether there is eating some of these GMO modified food is not as good as the regular food. It's already been discovered. But many of the food we eat in North America is GMO. Every grocery store carries that. Only a few grocery stores will carry what you call organic food. So if people have been eating it, and most of the Chinese stores here, they bring this food from China, all the vegetables, all the fruits, people are eating it and they are surviving. So, it is good to note that let me finish, please. Let me finish. Allow me. It is good to note the difference, but not to condemn the other completely, because we have been eating it and we are still alive and nothing has happened to us. That's all I'm going to say.
Is it any surprise? Is it any surprise that the thinking of your Gen Z is so warped? Is so warped that there's every week there's something mental health issue problem happening across the whole of America. Is it any
been that way.
surprise?
It's always been that way.
If you are eating genetically modified food, your brain might have been genetically modified without your knowing. You will look like a human being, but you are not.
There's nothing like that. My children are well groomed and they've been eating it for many years, and my grandchildren too. So the point I'm making is, it is good to point out the difference, but don't kill the other one. Don't throw away the baby with the bathwater.
But if the GMO is killing the organic ones,
it's not killing anybody.
We're having
if you have the GMO killing the organic,
it's not killing anybody.
We're having viewers listening. Listen, the viewers are following you and they are watching the whole discussion. Beautiful discussion here. Somebody's asking, he says, does GMO have expiring dates. I don't know. Raji, can you
You'll be
help?
surprised. You'll be surprised that a lot of the GMO food, they either spoil quickly or they don't spoil at all.
Mm.
So you have a potato that you keep for 2 years, or you have a potato that will just rot within a week.
Like I repeated before, most of the groceries,
Okay.
more than 90% of the groceries that we buy from the local grocery stores, okay, superstores, are they are GMOs.
GMOs.
They have been eating it for many years. We have
And
been
they
eating it
come,
for many. Let me finish. But what I'm
they
saying
they
is
come
this:
so cheap.
we are
They come so
still.
cheap.
They're not cheap. They're not cheap at all.
Oh,
They're not cheap. Not
they are
here. You're
much
not
cheaper
here.
than organic food.
You're not here. You're not here.
Reggie is doing something good. You know, this is new to Africa. Africa never knew all of this kind of.
They have. They knew.
No.
Nigerians do know.
Now they know. Now they know. So it's
They've
good
known
that
for a long time.
you see, what our government haven't done is we have poor relationship with the masses. What Raji is doing is very good, because I'm having questions here. I might send it to Raji directly so that he will answer, since we don't have much time. Raji is putting an awareness. So it's up to people now to say, I want the GMO or I want the organic. Because they just imposed it on us, and you might find out that some of us are not really, our body system don't really go with that. It could go with yours, George, in Canada, because of the environment you are. You know, you're in a very
Mark, the real danger is that in a short time the GMO food will cancel out the organic food, and you cannot replant seeds from organic, GMO food. And therefore, you are forced to be dependent on GMO seedlings sales. You have to go and buy the seedlings every year.
Look, we are having comments from Twitter.
That is the danger.
Raji, people are curious what you're saying. I can't read the Twitter. I can't put it out here because it's Twitter link.
Yeah.
But there are 7 questions and comments coming from Twitter on what you're saying. Somebody just wrote, "I'm following this." That was when you were talking. And the other thing. So I think the curiosity is good that you're saying this, Raji. I'm looking at it from the informative side of it. Not it's now up to people to decide, where they want, what they want, But it's good people understand what this processed food they are bringing to Africa.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold tight. Let me just say something right
the
now.
Answers on Friday.
Now,
yes.
Let's just do this. Let us do this. You see, fear mongering is one area that is so bad. When you want to give information, give a balanced information, and make sure that when you studying when you are looking into a subject, look at the pros and the cons. If you bring and demonize something so badly, like all of a sudden people that don't even have any money, to go and choose, should I buy organic or should I buy a GMO or whatever the case might be, what you're living, bring a balanced information. The food that we're talking about here has been coming into many developed worlds.
But George,
let me finish. I'm talking about bringing balanced information. So when you bring that fear mongering among our own people, it is for them. No, it is fear mongering. When you're talking about all of these things, believe me, we
There's
have
no fear mongering. I'm just giving you a fact that eventually the GMO food will cancel out the organic food.
Your facts. I like Garaji. Your facts, not international.
I don't know whether you work for. I don't know whether you work for Monsanto.
I don't work for Monsanto.
But eventually, GMO food will cancel out organic food.
Let me also add that, George, we were eating our normal organic food in Africa. I mean, we were having surplus of it too. It was normal. All of a sudden, they are bringing a different kind of food process.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold tight. In Nigeria as it is right now, where are you importing your rice from? From different parts of the world, right?
And we have our locally produced rice.
Okay, you have your locally produced rice. You have been doing that, but it's because of food insecurity, where importation of food into Nigeria have increased. Look at what's happening in the Middle Belt. What are you going to replace those things with? Most of the time now, you're going to have to import frozen fish in order to replace the locally
we have
cultivated
to
fish.
import it.
Hold tight, let me finish. My point is this. It is good to be enlightened and educated, but don't bring fear on people that can't afford to do anything. Let them have the knowledge and make up their own mind. Because when you're talking about replacement of, generic food, organic food with generic modified food, I don't know where you're getting those facts from. These are fear mongering that is coming from.
You are saying it in your own words. What I told you is that eventually, GMO food will pollinate with organic plants and cancel out organic plants.
It's not
That's what
happen.
I'm telling you.
It's
and
not
that's a
happen.
fact. They are having it. They are having it in Zimbabwe. They have a case in India. They have same cases in South Africa.
George, take note, some African countries, even some European countries are rejecting
GMO food.
Yes, because it's having effect on people. So maybe Canada accepted it, maybe on your population.
It's not Canada. It's not Canada. North America as a whole, Europe as a whole, where you are, they are allowing it. They are importing some vegetables. They are importing some of these things. The only thing that I am concerned about, let me tell you something. I'm not saying that when you bring the nutrients from something that is planted and allowed to go through the normal process versus one that is induced, there must be a difference between the two. But what I'm saying, bring the balanced information on both sides. Don't put fear on people, and then all of a sudden,
there's no
people. We've been eating this. We have been eating it, and we are alive today. And I look better than most of you guys out there.
You are the one with your conspiracy and fear.
No,
I don't know whether you work for Monsanto.
It's your conspiracy theory. That's what you're doing.
Let's
don't bring your leftist type of conspiracy theory here. What we are saying is, I look better than most of you, but I be eating that food. What do you say about that?
Somebody has written something. It says, I wish I could join in this discussion. Okay. George, Raji, you guys we're still part of the phone, getting to here. Then we decide on which part to follow. Viewers, what led to this discussion actually is that Bill Gates is in Nigeria, and our country, our Nigerian president has conferred him with a national honor. And we started talking of what he has done, the healthcare system, and all the billions he's putting in. Now, Raji came up with the point of the man too has been behind some not too good, not too direct
conspiracies.
The man wants to reduce the population of the world from 8.2 billion to 3-something billion, and he's doing everything he can.
Raji, I'll see how to pass the question on Twitter to you. Let's answer that, because I think people need to know. But why I think we have more questions is because Africans don't understand those whole GMO blah 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 things, so they need to understand it so they can decide what part to go. So GMO stands for genetically modified organisms. And
actually Bill Gates pledged to help fight malnutrition and eradicate malaria in Nigeria within 20 years.
Okay.
We also have to be careful when we distort nature. There's a reason. You see, during the Chinese Revolution, they came to a point where they were killing sparrows. The next year there was famine in China. More than 40 million people died. Let us be careful when we try to distort nature. Bill Gates have been breeding either celibate or not neutered mosquitoes and releasing them into the food. There's a need for mosquitoes to be around in our environment because they provide food and other things to the ecosystem. They are necessary in the ecosystem. We don't have to kill off mosquitoes. We have to make sure our environment is clean enough not to breed mosquitoes. Mosquitoes have a value in the ecosystem.
Friday, we'll be back. Gentlemen, it's been awesome. George is laughing. Powerful. I tell you today.
That's the shape of his mouth.
Let's speak on Friday.
Okay.